Hello, everybody, and welcome to the prequel session for myself and Rick over here. We're going to be doing a fun little thing going on for his character for the upcoming campaign. So it's going to be the new Mass Effect game. Don't worry about the title of it. The important thing is that Rick is playing a different character this time, and we want to see how it is that he gets into the campaign. It gives you an opportunity to get to know the character, how it is they got where they got, and so on and so forth. So, without further ado, could you describe your character to us, Rick, if that name seems familiar sitting below him? Go ahead.
Yeah, so this is James Carmine again. He's back in action. Although nobody actually believes that this is James Carmine, except for like one person in the Alliance military who's like, "Yeah, I did your test results. They seem convincing, but the top brass is like, you're an idiot." So unfortunately, his back had to be almost completely replaced with like duranium and stuff. It's just terrible, but he had some work done, or rather Cerberus did some work on him before deciding that, maybe this soldier is not someone we want to unleash back into society. This could backfire onto Cerberus. They could have had their different reasons, but it resulted in Carmine not being let out. He doesn't really look much different. He likes to wear his leather jacket, his casual clothing a lot more now, and try to like cover up the armor that he's wearing. He's got like tactical gloves. He still has his dog tags, but that's pretty much all the reminders to his past life. He's not carrying around his medals.
Oh, he's got a different reminder of his past life, doesn't he?
Oh yeah.
Do you have
he still
around?
Has his iconic shotgun.
Do you have
I
it
do have it. 1 second.
We can't do a James Carmine stream without your beautiful shotgun. There we go. There it is.
There we go. Everything's in a bit of disarray here, as you can imagine.
Yeah, but we got the gun with us. We got the dog tags. We're good to go. So
yeah.
Carmine, as we know, he died technically at the end of season 1. At the end of season 2, he came back as an unnamed character. Sounds on my little mistakes. As an unnamed character. I know. Good job, Scott. You ruined all the surprises. He came back as an unnamed character to assist the party in their assault on the Cerberus base. Got released. And he has lived since then. As you just stated, he tried to get back into the Alliance. Somebody did test results and proved for a fact that James Carmine is in fact still alive. However, as you had just said again, top brass are more or less like, you're an idiot. Your results came inconclusive, not positive. Know that this is not James Carmine. It's impossible. He's a dead war hero, or at least a dead hero to humanity. So, anyways, they don't believe it. You are not a member of the military, but you do have a couple of friends, people like him who knows for a fact who you are. Others who have kind of like met you and believe who you say you are, or at least believe that you believe who you say you are, and so you've made friends along the way. Whatever. Years have passed since then, and you've had to carve out a new life for yourself. A life different from the one that you had. A life different from the Alliance military. And so you did what you do best. You killed things. You no longer have this chip on your shoulder for aliens in general. I mean, the aliens aren't so bad. They're people, just like yourselves. However,
they did free me from Cerberus.
They did free you from Cerberus. You've gotten to know other ones before that and since then. But just like regular people, some of them are shitty. Just absolutely horrible. And it seems as though Batarians, more often than not, fall along that description. And so what you've done for a living in the past couple of years is, you've gone about as a mercenary, being hired to do various jobs, generally with human interest in mind, but not entirely. You're mercs. You go with whoever pays you, of course, as long as it's not like
initially he'd be running with the Alliance military a lot, before coming to realize that, like, for example, the encounter in, like, the first season where we came across that planet where we and Rockwell were basically in a team together and we ended up in an unfortunate firefight. Moments like that basically taught Carmine that the Alliance is not fit to deal with this, but neither is Cerberus. So he went along trying to help humanity best as he could. Sometimes it's by killing stuff, usually Batarians or other, like, pirates, that sort of thing. Sometimes it's just by, like, helping build a little colony, helping them get established, providing some regular defensive patrols and whatnot.
The important thing to note is that it is you will not take jobs that are anti-humanity. But putting that aside, you have recently been hired onto a crew of mercenaries. Many of them you've actually worked with in the past. Not, I wouldn't necessarily say friends, but definitely business acquaintances you'll slug a beer with, right? So I say as he's sipping from a can. So you guys are on in your ship. It is not an amazing ship. However, it is a very well retrofitted and suited up patrol boat. So, you know, I mean, your whole crew altogether is around, say, 30, give or take. You know, this outfit that you're doing right now happens to be in the lower range, happens to be about 23 people. That being because you need extra space in your boat for what it is you're going to do. However, sometimes you can have upwards 40 people, even 50 people if you need shock troopers on this ship at once. Now, when I say shock troopers on a ship, obviously you're not going to typical Citadel controlled planets. You can't do that. This is for the rim kind of worlds, the ones that are offbeat. And that's actually where we're starting. In the Exodus cluster, around a star that you guys, as you're traveling in faster than light, doing a mass effect jump, you realize that you're going around the star that the humans have known as My Cop. It is a star that you're going to right now. Now, with your heading there, what you're doing at the moment is you're actually hunting down a particular Batarian vessel. This vessel is known to be for Batarian slave traders. They will go to human colonies and they'll gather up humans. They've been doing this for the past couple of years since the Batarians closed up shop for their embassy and moved out of the Citadel. So they'll go to human rim planets, they'll attack the colonies, grab a bunch of humans, and use them as slaves or sell them off to other people that use slaves as well, but don't necessarily admit to it, and so on and so forth. They do other things too, but this in particular ship you're hunting down is a slave ship. It's also a carrier, so it's a whole class of ship larger than your frigate. But your frigate's designed to handle, you know, big targets. Disabling systems as opposed to blowing them up. That way you can free the peoples inside. That's what you're doing. You come into the star, into the system of My Cop, and you're doing what you can to try to get to what's safe, right? 1 second. Bam. You're trying to get to where it is that you can position yourself to attack this ship. The crew is frantically working very hard to try to do so. Reducing the amount of output from the engines to try to have a sensor ghost, but you just jumped out of a relay, haven't had time to exhaust your systems yet, and so it's kind of like this precarious moment with your vessel where it's like we really need to release energy, otherwise we become very dangerous, or we need to like let up the pursuit, or like push it hard and end it quick. And the commander of the vessel decided to go with the latter. Push it hard and end it quick. We need to get this person, otherwise they could potentially hit another jump and we won't be able to get them as easily next time. So you guys continue following them until they start to hit orbit around the third planet orbiting the star. It's a planet that you're usually able to use your sensors and whatnot to pick up and read that it actually is, we're going to call it a garden world, a world that can sustain life, but its name and whatnot you're not finding in records. You have no idea what it's called. You engage in battle with them, as I said, trying to end it hard, trying to end it quick. In engaging in battle with them, you guys push really hard, you're attacking them, so on and so forth, da-da-da-da. Why don't you do me a favor, actually? Your position while on the vessel itself is to be the gunner of the vessel. So you have the pilot trying to get in as close as possible where you guys are going to be able to do a bit more damage to the current carrier than it's going to be able to do to you, but struggling to do so. Why don't you see if you can get me a good hit on that vessel? Now, of course, what you're trying to do here, Rick, is you're trying to take out its systems. Right now, you're actually trying to take out its its long-range artillery. So to attack a ship's weapons, is a -4 to your attack roll. You have 3 guns available to you, and you also have 7 CP available to you. Okay? So you're welcome to fire all 3 guns. Or I believe you're welcome to target systems and fire.
I'd probably go with the general fire all guns.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I'm quickly trying to rush to like set up ship weapons because I didn't have any of those filled in on my sheet yet.
Oh, that's funny. Give me 2 seconds. Because I didn't tell you what you were going to have immediately.
No.
Prior, did I? That's okay. I'm going to tell you the ship's damage in 1 second. The ship's damage is going to be 2d6.
2d6, alright. I'm using the skill Gunnery Chief, which I imagine translates to weapons heavy.
Correct.
Okay. So just...
And then same as normal attack rolls from there.
Right, yeah, I'll be firing all guns, so no, like, -4 penalty for targeting a specific thing, right?
Correct, no penalty, and you're going to do 3 different attack rolls. Second attack roll. Third attack roll.
Ooh.
Roll me damage for your first 2. Nice. 20 points of damage. So this thing does, of course, have armor to reduce the amount of damage that comes with each one. How armored it is, it doesn't really matter. But your weapon that you're using actually has a certain amount of armor penetration. Ignore some of it. So you're actually firing the first 2 guns. You hit the side of the ship and you're actually hurting it considerably so. The third shot hits the side of the ship as well. Unfortunately, it's in an area that is not going to be very damaging to the overall functionality of that vessel. But in an area that's, it does destroy the hull, in an area that's going to have a lot of peoples inside of it. It actually hits an area where you see people get pulled out into space. Ooh. Immediately afterwards, you hear somebody on the comms being like, "What are you doing, James? You're killing them in there. You're killing them. I told you, take out their EZO. Take out the drive."
The systems are miscalibrated.
You say that, and then you actually hear somebody from down below like, I told you I was working on that. I'm still working on that. And you hear like something like a little explosion happen from down below. Another shot hits the side of the ship. The whole thing rattles. It's like, oh fuck! Oh my leg! Oh, I'm still trying to fix it. Never mind, my leg's fine. And he like starts get back over, and you hear like tinging and whatnot happening down there. Somebody else comes like popping into the area where you the doorway of where it is that you're controlling the guns. They're like arms up on the frame. They're kind of leaning in. They're like, "Hey, James, you good? You need me to take the guns?" Every time you're on the guns, every time this clown tries to take them, every time. And the worst part is
they're so thirsty for it.
The worst part is, I mean, Clunker here, he actually is a terrible shot. Like, we're talking literally has missed somebody with a shotgun from 3 meters before, okay? Spread fire. We're talking like buckshot, okay? So, anyways, he, "Hey, James, you need me to take the guns?"
Get out of here, Clunker. You wouldn't hit the broadside of a barn from the bloody inside.
I hit your mother a few times, and she wasn't complaining very much.
You'd wish, you old bastard. Now get out of here. I need to focus on firing these guns.
Yeah, I was just going, He kind of like walks off, grumbling to himself. Another a shot hits the hull of the vessel, busts through the shields, hits the hull of the vessel. The ship kind of shakes a little bit. And it's like, oh shit. They lining up and whatnot, trying to set you up for another round of attacks. They actually do move in beyond the range of the long-range weapons anyways. You're now in the range of their medium weapons. This is actually their medium-range weapons are where they're the most deadly. Once you get inside there, though, their close-range weapons are just their Guardian system. And you actually shot down their Guardian system with a previous pass-through. So you don't have to worry about that like at all. If you can survive through the medium-range weapons, or God forbid take them out, you're good to go there. So what's your goal? For artillery, you have your primary weapon, which we've already discussed. You actually have 1 remaining. You used them on a previous job, haven't refilled them yet. You have 1 remaining projectile that you can shoot directly at them and have them like potentially hit. If you can hit the right spot, it can do just insurmountable damage. You know what I mean? It's a mini explosion that happens there. Lets nanites just pour out into the system and start shredding everything apart. It's something that if you get the hit, it's beautiful. It's just hard to land that one blow. Auto-targeting doesn't work as well with it. And then your last option is to release flares and its distractions and general EMC or ECM, sorry, to reduce their chances of hitting you. So offensive, one-shot offensive, or somewhat defensive.
I think now that we've gotten to the deadly bit, we'll switch to somewhat defensive. If we can creep inside there, then we'll deploy the one-shot super killer, basically.
Awesome. So then you're going to deploy those. You can actually... so you report that back to the pilot of the ship, what your intentions are, and how do you say it to him?
Basically, we're in their bloody kill zone right now. We need to close in while we're alive.
So saying that, he's like, yeah, flares, yeah! And then as you can see, like the computer's power immediately start shifting away from where you are, so your CPM drops from that 7 down to a 2, giving you enough to throw out the flares. Can you just roll me a flat D20 roll, please, Rick? So no, it's fine. So you release the flares, and they go bursting out. I was looking for 1s and 20s. So you release the flares, and they go bursting out in all of the... And set up what is it, like an EMC, that ECM, Electronic Warfare Countermeasures, ECM, releasing an ECM and flares and whatnot to completely throw off their targeting systems to give you guys a chance to survive. So the vessel continues firing, but as they do so, they actually take out your ESO drive to the point where you don't think that this vessel is going to be able to survive another jump. If this vessel gets away from you, there's no way in hell you'll ever be able to catch them unless you stop and fix this vessel first. You guys are traveling for a good period of time. It's like a solid 10 minutes of just heavy fire coming at you. Every once in a while, you release flares here and there, trying to throw them off, trying to find the area where you're like, oh shit, this gun is like lining up, and throwing up the flares and everything to distract them. You have moderate success. Your hull is taking a ton of damage. At one point in time, you actually see, because you have a little display of the condition of your vessel, a chunk in the belly is just removed, and eventually, the drop doors go and seal off that area to make sure that you don't, nobody else suffers, but you know for a fact a few crew members were in that area. It's one of those moments where you just kind of grit your teeth, forget what's going on, and just keep pushing forward. And so you do.
I'd probably have turned my adrenaline pump on to help focus on the gunning.
There you go. So it's one of those and you build up within you this massive adrenaline surge that you have this neural chip that allows you to control when that is over secreting adrenaline to really give you that focus and that drive, but just shuts down your personality. You become too focused and too aggressive to be able to maintain normal intercommunication skills. So that's going on. You eventually punch through that middle zone, but your ship looks like Swiss cheese. It is. Your shields are completely offline. Your hull has been rattled to crap. You guys are hurting. It is. You knew that you're kind of biting off a big mouthful with coming on this job, but it's one of those you think we didn't realize they were going to be this, this many countermeasures. You're finally in that close zone. Their guardian systems, are down. Their guardian systems cannot affect you. You know you have at least one good clean shot. As soon as you get to this area, all power is taken away from different systems. The engine's power goes down because they're not worried about really speeding up anymore. They're able to maintain speed from here. The mechanics' power goes down because they don't need to... Now's not a time for fixing. Now's the time for getting it done, right? The pilot gets some power. The commander just completely gives all power to you guys. Rick, you've got yourself 8 points right now. You can make, one shot. So you can make one shot with the +4 and, with the -4. You can actually target it, which takes 2 CP, giving you a +1, and just make the one shot. Or you could do all 3 again. Systems or 3 general.
Would it be possible to go for the fire all guns action and fire the big one-shot weapon?
Part of fire all guns would be that one-shot weapon. However, they would not be directed at anything in particular. It would just be
Okay, that's fair.
let me hit the ship.
Yeah, in that case, I will take the nanite bomb and basically just target it at the best place where I know, like judging from their schematics, because we obviously prepared for this,
Yeah.
where it would do the most damage.
So you know
And
that
just-
you keep getting yelled at by the commander to shoot out the EZO drive. That way this vessel can't get away. It would just be... You would do more damage to the drive than you have. They would be effectively sitting ducks in this system. Not necessarily where they are, but in this system. There are a few other things that you can hit as well. You can hit their shield generators, which will keep their shields and defenses down completely. You can hit their power core, which will make everything suffer, and they'll have to make decisions. They'll have to do their own triage. And you hope that their triage is in a way that you guys can pick up and use in your favor. You know what I mean? You can do whatever you'd like. You can go straight for the cockpit if you think that you might be able to take out the crew. That's always the hardest job. I mean, it's a Batarian vessel. The cockpit is not exactly somewhere easy to get to. You know, it's not like a human vessel where they're all in the front, because that's just stupid. They're more protected. they're more protected. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can try to go for their weapons, which would just shut down their weapons completely. I mean, it's up to you if you want to go for like a kill shot or disable them in some specific way.
I'd go for the ESO drive.
Go for the EZO drive? Sure.
That will make a nice giant explosion, and it will make sure they won't get away from us.
Absolutely. So you're going to go for the EZO drive. You're going to take a -4, as I had already discussed, but you're going to be able to give yourself a +1 because you have the extra CP for the targeting. So it's a -3 total. That's a 13 right there, sir. But I think you have a skill.
A skill?
As a soldier.
Oh, you mean the class ability is just a hit? Yeah, I was planning to save that for this giant fuck-off weapon, so yes. I would like to turn that into a hit.
Alright, so you're going to turn that into a hit for yourself? And with that hit, you're actually going to do the nanite bomb damage. Now, the initial damage to the ship is actually very, very small. It's actually 1d4 -1. It's very, very small. However, over the course of the next round, it's just going to rip apart that entire system. Remember, combat rounds are 15 minutes long. It's not a couple of seconds. So they're like ripping apart the engines while this is happening. So you do that shot, it's a hit, and they're all like, you literally hear your radio comes online, and they're like yelling and cheering so loud with such high pitch, like, woo! With such loud ones going on there that it actually causes the speaker to malfunction and get a little staticky. And moving forward, anytime they speak to you, it gets a little hard to hear. So when they're like, James, great job, and you're like, damn it, you know, and, you know, the mechanic's down there. He's like, I'm trying to fix it, and he's working on that as well. You guys are really closing in with that EZO drive being eaten away. All they're relying on is their propulsion thrusters. You're easily closing the gap. In a system, you are way faster than this kind of a vessel. It's when you do the jumps that they're faster than you. Excuse me. So you're catching up to them very, very quickly, and they're like, all right, it's time to go for the kill. And so they're having you close in to make that kill. Close in to make the kill as much as you can. They're more or less just like, hey, focus at their what is it called? Energy. Their energy, I just said it 2 seconds ago.
The power core.
Power core. Focus on their power core and take that out. Do that shot for us. And so as they're lining up for you to do that, all of a sudden something catches you off guard. Something you didn't expect to happen. You see all of their Guardian systems come online and start targeting at you. You see like the blinking red and dinging in your ears that warns you. You guys are just fully locked on. You are in range of their Guardian just as they're in range of yours, but theirs is devastating because they're so much larger than you are. You get one shot, sir. Do you want to aim for their power core, or do you want a general all fire?
I'd probably go... fuck it. I'll aim for the power core. No risk, no reward.
Roll me the initiative roll first. I think you get a +2 to this.
I do, yeah. I have the adrenaline pump online, which is good.
So does that
Fucking
include the
hell.
+2 or no?
No, I couldn't do it.
So it's a 5, so I'm going to have to add the modifier on there. We'll
Yep.
do that immediately after this, so we're good for the campaign. So you throw that +2 on there. You are actually able to beat them with your 5, and you're able to make your shot first, but only by moments.
So that's
3
the
attacks.
-3 again?
You're going for the power core, -3, yes sir.
There we go.
Oof, that is a hit. That is a beautiful hit. Roll me your damage. I believe it was 2d6.
Yep.
Ah!
That's a good roll as well.
The damage is so good. Oh my god. You go for the power core and you're blasting through their hull. You're doing so much damage. You're ripping it apart. You can actually see the ship itself, the propulsion thrusters that are moving it forward, are starting to sputter. You know, they're losing their ability. They're already caught inside the planet's gravitational field because of where they are. This thing actually starts to tilt and starts to head towards the planet, albeit it's a slow rate. It's not like it's an instantaneous thing. It's something that'll take a couple hours for it to go down. Unfortunately, they had already prioritized their power prior to this happening, and so they lost tons of power, but not to their guardians. You can't really blanket make any statements of any race. However, Batarians tend to have a very vindictive nature to them. You've not experienced otherwise yet. And so it's no surprise that they did this. And so they start raining hell all over your vessel. I had mentioned Swiss cheese before. At least your hull was mostly intact. It is no longer intact. It immediately starts just falling apart. There's literally a blast that comes through the cabin that you're in. Comes through the cabin. All the air of where you are gets completely sucked out. Make me a physical save.
All right. Just because of who Carmine is, he would definitely be wearing like his combat suit, ready to go. But yes, physical save. And I actually pass one.
There you go. You grab onto the controls of your weapon, and instead of getting sucked out of the vessel, you're actually able to hold on tight until all of a sudden the vessel seals up those 2 bits of closed area. You look back and around you, and you're able to see that behind you the seal had been made to the compartment behind you to get back into the rest of the ship. You're exposed. You can actually see space from where you are. However, you know that to get into that compartment that you're going to have to go into is a dangerous endeavor, because even though the thing can seal off, for you to get in there, you're going to have to open it and seal it again. And it doesn't have like a double door where you can go in one, shut it, open the... No, it's not an airlock. It's just a seal. Do you choose to stay where you are in a vacuum in a zero atmospheric area, or do you choose to try to get back into the ship?
He's been in vacuums before. I suppose the weapons are useless by now.
You do a quick check, electronics for me.
Oh, good.
You check it out. Funny enough, yeah, they're all sorts of messed up. However, they can still fire. They just can't aim.
That's good enough. It'll probably go somewhere in the right direction.
So
I'm gonna keep manning my post for now.
All right, so you want to attack the other ship anyways? Awesome.
Yep.
So because of the fact that you're more or less it's the ship kind of like spinning where it is. The ship's spinning. You have to wait until it's going to spin right in time where it's lined up and take a shot. You're actually going to have to take a -3 to your attack roll. And you can only make 1 attack.
That's also fine.
That's still a hit. With a -3, do your damage, sir.
Yes, I will.
Their propulsion thrusters are completely offline. The whole ship tilts forward and starts careening towards the planet. The unknown planet. It starts careening towards the planet. Unfortunately, so isn't yours. Yours is also careening towards the planet. You hear on the comms, James, live.
I just yell back something. Like, I try to get through. I just repeat the same thing like a couple of times. Like, yes, I'm still here. I just nailed them. Did you see that? Oh my god.
So you kind of like you repeat back 3 times something short, and then you just like start bragging for a moment. You hear, dead, get here.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting like anything to come back, so I don't know. I guess I tap on the bulkhead with like a wrench or something, you know, like they did back in Pearl Harbor to let them know that like Alive are outside now, I guess, instead of inside.
So the idea is to let them know that you're alive or whatever. What do you do from there? Do you stay there or?
Well, there's no real use in really shooting them anymore because they're gonna go down. We're gonna go down. All our fates are sealed. I'm gonna find a good place to like crash, I guess.
Okay.
Literally and physically.
So do you want to use the sealed area that's right over by you, or do you want to try to like go around the outside of the ship and make your way over to where the airlock is, which is probably a little bit safer for everybody else in the vessel as opposed to yourself? Want to use that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what he would do.
So then you're going to actually roll for me for space travel. It's going to be an exert strength or an exert dex.
Definitely Dex.
Okay. So you make your way over, releasing yourself from where you were strapped in because of in case of 0G, where you were strapped in. You release yourself and kind of like push off and go over to where the hole is, the hole to the hull. As I said, it was sealed off, but these seals are very, very, very minimal. I mean, they don't seal it completely. It's just to stop like random debris from coming in and hitting you. Seals off the big holes. You were still not pressurized. So you go over to one of those things, and more or less they have a release. So they have this little area where you can grab a portion of it, and you pull and turn it, and it, almost like an umbrella afterwards, starts to collapse enough that you can just push it, and it just floats off, right? So you let go of this release, and you grab onto the rim. You look for where the airlock to the ship is, and you start kind of like pulling yourself over towards the airlock, and grabbing on the handholds on the side of the vessel because you get yourself to one of the pathways that exist on the outside. You start trying to pull yourself over to the airlock. Could you do me a favor? Roll me another exert dexterity or strength check.
Sure.
Sorry. So you are being successful still, making your way along the outside over to it. However, you do notice something. While your vessel is also crashing, you can see that it is lining its trajectory to crash behind the other one. You're looking at it. You're looking at the way things are going, and you have enough propulsion that you could probably go in at a slightly slower angle and maybe like work your way down along the circumference of the planet. But instead, it seems as though they're lining up directly behind the ship. Can you roll me a perception wisdom check, please? And last thing I want you to roll for me is a lore intelligence.
Fitting.
Not a problem. So one of the things that you notice is that you have no heat shield on your vessel. The type of metals that you have are designed to absorb heat and release them rather quickly. However, the actual front of your vessel, the area, the nose of it, is so damaged, there is no heat shield to how this vessel would come in. Just scrap pieces of where it is. So you see them flying immediately behind the larger vessel, which is already starting to get very warm. What do you do?
I'm not sure if it really makes sense to point out to the pilots, like, yeah, we don't have a heat shield anymore. You might want to belly flop it, because I imagine, like, we're a human brick, right? You know, so we'd have a large flat area, and that would maybe help with re-entry a little bit, but that's just me and KSP talking here.
So you toss that information, and then keep making your way towards the airlock.
I'm gonna try and get inside and like find the best place to ride this out. Basically, ride the wreckage into the atmosphere and, like, I don't know, hope to not get squished.
Absolutely. You make your way over to the airlock. You have the codes, so you go to unlock it. It denies you because of the situation the ship's in. You plug in your override codes, and the airlock opens up, lets you in, shuts. And then when you open up the second one, you immediately see your vessel does not have gravity anymore. And the reason why you know that is because there is a floating member of the mercenaries that was there in front of you. He is not stewing well. He's not stewing well at all. Floating member of the mercenaries floating past you. However, you do see Krunk with a bit of metal sticking from his side, still alive, and looking towards that door. When it opens up, he's got a shotgun in his hands, and he's sitting there like, James, still kicking it, huh? Oh, you're dead out there.
Someone had to shoot those bastards down. Might as well have been me, right? Let me look at that, friend. And I kneel down to look at him.
Yep, you kneel down, you look. There is a hunk of metal that is sticking out of his side. You could pull that out, sure, and you could apply Metagel, and that'll stop the bleeding. Usually pulling it out can do more damage unless you do it in the right way. You have enough Metagel, you think you'd be fine if you pulled it out. However, what you're worried about is the other pieces that are probably going to still be inside. You could patch him up for now, but he's going to need some sort of surgery soon. Next day or two. Otherwise, that could easily... It's probably already going to get infected.
Yeah, I'm just looking at him like he's basically a dead man already because he might not survive impact in that scenario.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll try to do my best. Like, I imagine I've brought a first aid kit along and just, like, use that to patch him up.
Sure. Roll for me a first aid check.
I'm actually kind of good at that.
You are.
No, that is definitely not correct.
It's funny, I have the back row half done. I just gotta finish it. So it's selectable. I will worry about it later.
Yeah, no, because I had it to pull from a sheet. It pulled a 15, so that is a 10 and not a 25.
Wait, what stat was it supposed to be using?
I am not sure how it works. I think... I don't know. I just don't know.
Let's check real quickly. It's one of the reasons why we're doing this little thing that we're doing, huh? To test out everybody's...
I think it might have just drawn his, like, previous intelligence because I was using, like, the Season 1 macro.
Oh, that's why. Either way, it makes no sense for... Was his intelligence 15 in Season 1?
Yes, it was.
So it was using the intelligence as opposed to the intelligence mod. That's why.
Yeah.
That's funny. That's okay, so that 15 becomes a 1, so it's 10 less. It's still a 15. Sorry. No, it becomes a 14.
It's still
14
a 10.
Less. 14 less, yeah. So it's still an 11.
No,
so,
it's... Is it? Yeah, no,
yep.
Sorry, yeah, it's an 11.
No, you're fine.
Wow.
So it's still an 11. So with your 11, you, my brain's not working, give me a second. With your 11, you actually are able to pull the piece out, applying some Metagel behind it, and get him patched up enough that he can actually stand up. As you, like, help him back to his feet, he's like, "Oh, I knew your dainty little hairs are good for something." And, you know, and as he stands up, he actually hands you back your shotgun that he had grabbed to protect the doors while you were over there. And he's like, I didn't mean to put my hands on her or not. I just wanted to, keep the hall nice and safe and stuff. So, thank you for that one. And then he goes
I'll forgive you for this time. And I pat him on the back.
He goes over and he grabs up his actual favorite weapon, which is a Krogan warhammer that he got off of a Krogan that you guys were sent to hunt and kill. He claims that he killed that guy one-on-one. He completely denies everybody else saying, like, the guy was in a kill box. There were 7 people shooting at him. There were 7 people shooting. He's like, "Oh no, it was me. That was what I had my big old gun, and I was just shooting at them stuff, and I was just shooting all them bullets so fast, you just don't even know where they were coming from. I riddled that guy all by myself." And they're like, you were behind him, and when he died, he fell on his stomach, and there were entrance wounds on his chest. That's when I was shooting him earlier. You were a click behind us when we saw him earlier. I don't know what you're talking about it. Like, this is the kind of, So
yeah.
Anyways, he picks up his big old weapon, and he's super happy to have it with him, and starts making his way with you over to the bridge of the ship, which of course is the front. You come walking in, and unfortunately, the person that plays captain is not standing. They're on the ground, and their head is bleeding profusely. They are not doing very well at all. However, you do see the pilot in there. You and Krunk are inside there, and there are 3 others as well. When you come walking in, everybody kind of looks at you. You can see like they're happy to see you and that you're okay, but it's not like a long-lived happy. It's kind of like an appreciative nod that you're there. And you can see on the display in front of the pilot. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you want to do anything as soon as you walk in?
I'd probably like get to fixing up the captain or like the acting captain, or basically make sure everyone's fine-ish.
You go over to check out the captain and check his signs, and it's one of those things where you're like, I could save this man, and I could save him now. There's no way he's going to survive impact. He already has he clearly has such a major concussion. You know what I mean? He's already has some sort of neck injury, spinal injury going on. There's nothing I can do to save him from the amount of impact that's going to happen. It's one of those
I give him a
things-
sedative anyway.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, you say nice things to his unconsciousness and move on. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
Pulling back to everybody else, you can see up on the display screen the trajectory that the pilot intends to use. He's gonna follow behind that vessel as close as he possibly can and try to use the vessel as a heat shield itself, as a way to get into the planet. You think he's an idiot. You're like, there's another way we could have done this. But
It's the best plan we have right now.
Yep, exactly. It's the best plan we have right now. And at one point in time, you do hear on the radio come up, much less static even before. You hear, yeah, we're fixing the problem down here. All power is about to be sent to those thrusters so you can pull back up last second. Yeah, I need a moment. See you guys on the other side. And the radio goes silent. The whole room that you're in right now is very, very silent, of course, as everybody's kind of like preparing themselves. People go over to the various crash chairs. The walls themselves of the ship. The walls are, I'm gesturing at a star, not a wall. The walls themselves, there's no wall here. This is all real. So the walls themselves are set up to have like an opening will come up and a chair will come down. It's like a crash chair, and so like you strap yourselves in and whatnot, and it'll try to hold you as strong as possible. It even has a brace that comes up and straps around your neck to try to support you as much as possible. But it's not looking good. Actually, the safest chairs inside the room are like the pilot's chairs and the captain's chairs, but some of them got injured during the combat, and so they're not really viable at the moment.
Right.
Flash forward. You're crashing down. It's coming down hard. You're falling behind that vessel. The heat is just boiling inside your ship. It is getting hot inside your ship, but you clearly do what you can to survive. You see that somebody down in the engine room has flicked on the exhaust. The amount of heat that's been built up in your ship since you got through the mass relay was in there as well. You're finally close enough to the planet in its atmosphere that you can exhaust everything from your vessel. Unfortunately, in doing so, and exhausting at the same time, it causes all of your computers to go on the fritz. The pilot is now flying blind using more or less old rudder style and old wing style kind of flying, but this is a brick that needs propulsion. So you're talking a pilot like flying without wings, you know what I mean? So it's a barely controlled crash. He's following behind the vessel as best as he can, and as it finally breaks through the atmosphere, is burning up enough, and you kind of break into the actual atmosphere of the planet. You want to be relieved, but it's not exactly a beautiful sight. He was looking for some sort of body of water or something to crash into. Nothing. Can't find an easy body of water around anywhere from the path that you guys are going in. So instead, pulls up them thrusters as much as he can to try to reduce the fall, and heads for a forest instead. I say forest, but it's really just a bunch of, when I say overgrown underbrush, I mean like about 100-foot tall overgrown underbrush. These aren't trees; these are bushes. And as he goes crashing into these things, trying to hit it at an angle to have the branches and everything hitting the hull, slow it down as much as possible. Eventually, you get the huge impact to the grounds below. You're knocked out. You're knocked out flat. Everything.
Yeah, as we were going down, I would have like taken charge basically and just directed people to crash seats, while like myself taking the captain share, which is probably the best one. Because, you know, captain rank favoritism, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And our captain won't be needing it anymore. So I figured as like now acting captain. I used to be a staff sergeant, you know. It's a thing he would consistently tell people. Yeah, he would basically just try to like direct efforts and whatnot.
I was looking for my water. I don't remember where I put it. All right, awesome.
It's gonna be futile, but you know.
It's one of those situations where everybody's actually going to immediately start listening to you, except for the pilot, who's listening to nothing. He's just in his own zone, trying to do what he can to keep everybody alive. And I imagine...
Yeah, he's trying to save us all.
Yeah, I imagine you just, like, let it be.
Yeah.
The crash happens. You black out. Roll me your first physical save.
Yeah, hey! Barely, but...
Okay, awesome. You actually... I said first because I assumed it's failure. My apologies. So you actually... you succeed. Roll me a mental save.
Ooh. Nailed it.
Barely. But
yeah.
You wake up a few minutes later to seeing the outside. Parts of the hull have completely ripped off of even where the bridge is. And that's usually the most defended spot. Or one of the most defended spots. It was ripped off from even where the bridge is. You can actually see the outside from where you are. You still have your helmet on, but the mask to your helmet is shattered. It's still holding integrity. It's still holding air pressure inside, but it is, you can barely see through it. You have all fractured glass in front of you. You can barely see through it. And you know that the amount of oxygen left in it is less than 10 minutes. You can see that. Looking around at the crew and everything, you don't see anybody moving. You don't see anybody moving at all.
I'll probably do a quick token check, but then like quickly realize that these people are dead.
You release your seat and you stand up. Standing up is not an even surface. Standing up, the whole ship is slanted. It's one of those, as you release the thing, you actually have to hold on to the arm of the chair. It's not immediately kind of like skidding down. The degree of the vessel is extreme. It's, I mean, you're looking at about like 35 degrees.
Yeah, that's a pretty steep incline.
Yeah, exactly. So you hold on to the thing so you don't just go running down. You know, you've got, your boots aren't exactly super magnetic, but they're designed for walking along hull and whatnot. So they have good grip to them. So you do grip onto the areas and maneuver your way over to the different people. Roll for me a first aid check to see who's alive. Intelligence.
Oh, hang on. I should have done the roll 3d6, drop lowest one.
Correct. +2.
Yeah, so that's an 11.
An 11. Same as last time. You walk around, and you actually do find there's one person that survived this crash. It's actually Krosk. Or Krox. Or whatever.
I thought it was Clonk. Like, his name changes every time.
Or it's Clonk. No, the thing is, like, it's not even like... It's one of those things where when he speaks, you have such a hard time understanding him. You think you're saying his name right. It's like when somebody says a name that you don't, like, you're like... It sounds so... Like, let's say Brandon. Brandon's a super common name. But, like, you get somebody named Brendan. But, like, you so call him Brandon because it's so much work. You're like, hey, Brandon, so yeah, Brendan. You know what I mean? Like, it's like screwing it up. So, it happens so often with the way that he speaks that you're like, I think I'm getting it right. And you're like, wait, what's your name? It's like, oh, yeah, that's what I said.
Sure. Eventually, he just goes along with it.
The first time he went along with it, you have a feeling he's used to it. Moving on.
Yeah. Still
alive. Unconscious, but still alive. You don't have a bioscanner on you. You did. It's broken. You check. Again, with surgery, he might be able to survive, but right now, he's unconscious and at least showing some sort of vitals. I mean, the man is made out of who knows what, but you don't think it's flesh and bone because those should be gone by now.
Yeah.
Nobody else in the cockpit was able to make it. What do you do?
I triage him anyway. There might be a possibility of rescue. Like, someone's gonna have to have seen this go down on, like, some sort of scanner somewhere.
Roll for me another check. Same thing. Don't forget your +2.
If this counts as stabilizing, I could... Oh, no, wait. I can attempt to stabilize as a one-turn action. Never mind. I'm not gonna rules lawyer you.
It's 3 11s in a row, man.
Yeah, also like 3 sevens in a row when doing like the exerts and other things.
Yeah, it's funny. But I mean,
He's consistent.
311. I mean, if you like the music, you know what I'm saying? So, anyways, with that check, you actually are able to successfully triage him enough. You know that you can keep him alive. You've given him some nutrients in a pack that dissolved under his tongue. You've sealed up some of the wounds, put a little bit of reinforcements to his actual injured bones to cause those to heal a bit faster. If you have a halfway decent facility, you think you could actually save this mother effer. But
Cool.
You're going to need something. I mean,
That would mean I would have saved him at the 11th hour.
huh. Oh. So, you've got an injured guy and a broken vessel. What's the plan?
I make sure he's in a comfortable position and then I recon the immediate area. I've probably turned off my adrenal pump while the crash was happening to allow my body a better chance of like sustaining the impact, although adrenaline would also do a surprisingly amazing job at that. So.
I imagine, like, as you came to, you turned your adrenal pump back on. That was you kind of
Yeah,
like,
definitely, immediately.
You know, that's why, like, and, you know,
I am
so
alive.
going.
There's a crisis. I need to be here now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you immediately start to check out the area. Your ship is broken into 4 pieces, 4 large pieces, and you start walking around trying to find whatever you can of use there. You're actually able to scrap together little bits of materials, throw them. You grab over by the med area. The place is completely destroyed, but you find a little bit of metagel. You know, you throw that onto your person. You go over and find little bits of extra credits that are sitting around. You don't know if these are going to be of any importance here, but you know, when you get back to Citadel, you grab them up. It's nothing.
They'll be useful later.
Exactly, nothing of significance. You continue searching. Until finally, you're actually able to find the engine room. The engine room is completely opened up, but you actually find the crew that's inside there. There were 3 people in there. All of them look dead. Roll me a first aid check.
Ooh. Yeah, they're dead.
Unfortunately, it's one of those things where you thought that there was vitals on one of them when you checked them, but then you try to like check better, try to apply some sort of medicine to them. Either they passed before you were able to help them. This is the mechanic himself. Either they passed before you were able to really save them, or you know,
It could have just been a fluke.
And it was a fluke, exactly. So without a bioscanner, it's hard to know for sure. So you know, you say your words and then you move past from there, grabbing up anything of significance that you can. It seems as though it's only you and Crike that have survived this.
Yeah. How far away does the giant crash carrier look like it is?
So where you are, immediately outside your vessel, it was mostly cleared up because of burning from the vessel itself, the crash, knocking over trees and everything. But to describe what this place looks like, it looks as though you're in underbrush of a medium to densely populated, like woods or forest. So there's branches, they're like wiry, almost like roped branches that are growing all over the place. They're difficult to navigate through when you move too far from the vessel, so that you don't have like the cleared out area from it being crashed and whatnot. They're all covered in thorns. Like, it's one of those things where they're covered in sharp thorns. I don't just mean thorns. I mean, like, at one point in time, you grabbed one with your glove to like move it out of your way, and it punctured your glove. Your glove's designed in such a way that small little punctures like that, it resealed itself, but if you did that too many times, it wouldn't be able to. It can only redistribute itself so many times. So, like, these are very sharp and very large thorns growing just on all the branches around here. It's so thickly grown together, you can't see where the other crash happened. You have no idea.
That's a shame. I guess, like, I would try to go to the bridge and, like, find out, like, coordinates or a direction or something. I'll just note that down for now. It's like, from our crash site, it's roughly over there. I make a point of going to check over there at some point to see if any one of them survived. Because if so, I have a job left to finish.
So you go and make your way to the bridge to check that out. Unfortunately, no power on the bridge. Nothing seems to be functioning there.
Figures. I'll try to grab like data pads or things that are lying about that might have been of use.
Okay, you grab all that stuff up. You grab yourself a nice backpack and get everything up inside there. Do you intend to camp here for a little bit, or do you intend to head out?
I might do like an initial recon of the area a little bit beyond the crash site and like try to establish a safe perimeter so that I know that Crusoe over there is gonna be somewhat okay for now.
And you leave him where he is?
Yeah, I've made sure he's in a comfortable position. He's been triaged. I'll give him some time to recover from holy fuck we just crashed on the planet.
Survival wisdom, sir. So you do that recon around. Unfortunately, you're not really able to find anything of significance. You're not able to find any form of, what are they called? Fauna that seem to be edible. These big root-like or wire or rope-like branches seem to be the only thing about. There's some flowers and grass growing nearby, but nothing that you can find information about them immediately on your data pad. Sorry, I meant to say flora for that. As for the fauna, you saw little creatures moving about here and there. They seem to be more like lizards than anything else. However, you get this feeling like something's stalking you. Every once in a while, you just kind of like get that feeling. You just kind of like look behind you, but you can't really see what's going on. At some point in time, you had to and remove your helmet because you ran out of oxygen with your suit. The air here being arid, being dry, being has this like taste to it that almost reminds you of sucking on a penny. Like, it's not pleasant, but breathable, if slightly foul. Something that over the course of the next couple of hours you grow enough accustomed to that you stop openly complaining about it, but still not pleasant. But every once in a while, again, you kind of like get that presence, and you look behind you, and you're like, no. And then you keep moving. You establish a perimeter of an area that you believe to be safe, and do the recon as much as you can. You believe at one point in time you found tracks, but you're not sure if they are in fact tracks or just a strange growing of the trees. It just seems a little too strange, almost like they were intentionally grown or moved enough to allow for a bit of a safe pathway through this area. Walking outside of a pathway or the cleared area of the crash is very, very difficult. It grows so densely together that it's constantly scratching up your suit and clothes or putting you in direct peril. So you have to stick to open areas. Eventually you make your way back to the ship and back to where your friend was lying unconscious. And the reason why I say was is because he no longer is. He's actually sitting up and drinking some sort of liquor that he clearly had hidden somewhere.
Of course.
Yeah.
As soon as I see that he's upright, I just go yell at him. Of all the bloody people to survive a bloody planetary crash, I have to be stuck here with you, don't I?
Oh, did you expect? Just a little bump in the head going on me now. Come on now, yeah, that's not gonna kill me, man.
Oh, not after I'm done looking after you. I just pat him on the shoulder. How are you feeling?
Well, I've had better nights than this, but I've also had worse nights, and I'm just saying that, if I had a gun, I'd feel a little bit, what the fuck is that?
And he says, like, looking past you.
I immediately turn around. I still have my adrenal pump on.
Of course. So you immediately turn around and you see behind you a strange-looking lizard. Honestly, if you had to describe it in any way that you could put in like human understanding of Earth, you know what a monitor is. I mean, this thing looks to be, I don't know, 8 feet in length. It's about 2.5 meters long. It is standing its shoulder height at about 3 feet, so rather large. However, its tail itself seems to have spikes coming out of it, very similar to the types of spikes you see coming with the trees. And its head, while instead of just being regular scales like the rest of its body, its head seems to have a bit of a carapace to it, something that like almost looks like a very, very hardened shell. And it's standing at the bottom of the slope out of the vessel, like where the crash is, where there's an opening there, down there, and it looks up at you. But as it looks up at you, it's kind of like tilts its head slightly, and it's kind of like looking, its eyes going back and forth between the two of you, and then starts to sniff the air. Similar again to reptiles on Earth, as it sniffs the air, it has its tongue move around inside of its now open mouth. If it has teeth, you can't see them from where you are.
Right. Does he look angry?
The creature?
Yes.
That would be a perception charisma with a -3, because you have no fucking clue.
I'm gonna try it anyway. That's more decent than I would expect it to be.
You, unfortunately, have no clue if it's angry or not.
Right. Then I am going to be angry. I pull out Lena,
Hold on.
my
How did you
shotgun.
roll so poorly? Oh, -3, because I gave you a -3. My apologies. You pull out Lena, your shotgun.
And I shoot at it.
Roll me initiative, sir.
We are all gun diplomacy in this world now. Let's see. Just making sure that all the things are set up. They look to be. That's a 16.
Use initiative first, sir.
Oh, sorry. That would be
Plus
a 9.
It's a 9. I'm not even going to roll because I can't get that high. You go first, and you do a 16, you do your damage. Oof. It's devastating. You take a shot with the shotgun, and as you like line up the shotgun, it almost seems to realize what you're doing, because as you line up the shotgun, it immediately starts like running forward, and unlike a lizard, which has its like arms kind of like claw at you, it actually runs forward with like little leaps. Like its back legs kind of hop, its front legs grab and pull, and its back legs kind of curl up and hop, and its front legs grabbing and pulling, moving in almost like a rabbit would, but not anywhere near as fast because of just sheer speed of legs, only fast because of sheer length of body, and so how much distance it can grab with the push of its body. So each jump is slower, but gets some good distance. As you line up your shotgun and take the shot, it actually looks down to the ground, bearing to its forehead, allowing the brunt of the attack to be taken by its carapaced forehead. But your attack was so good that it actually shot through the carapace, and the bullets penetrated the carapace and hit the creature probably in its brain or whatever it is, and it flops down dead, not but like 2 meters from you. My dog is barking, and I don't know why. I'm going to ignore it. Keep going.
I look over at my faithful companion, and I just go, looks like we got dinner. Boil 'em, mash 'em, stick 'em in a stew.
And that is where we're going to end your opening session. Your character's introduction and how you got to this world. So we're going to leave that here. And thank you everybody for popping by to find out how it is that James Carmine came to this world. The name of the world doesn't matter. The star is my cop, and we'll see you on for our first live stream a week from today on the 21st. Catch you later.
Bye.